there, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 6 of volume 9 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac scrapbooks. Continuing on with Rock a Little. Going to start off with some really unique stuff. This one, I'm not too sure. This came in a lot of items that I bought one time, and I'd love to know the person who did the artwork. I think their name is on there, or not, but just a really stunning portrait of Stevie. Really nice piece. It's small like that, but just really good detail, good pencil, light coloring, light shading. But they really got her eyes really well. In the cape as well, I think. That's just something I've had for a really long time. Just I forget where this came from. It's just unfortunately a paper copy. And then this one is a friend's Polaroid enlarged, like, photographed and enlarged, which is why there's all those spots and stuff on it. But it's not a real one. Another cool little outtake. And these came out, these were in kind of bad shape. It's so funny because I used to have some. I'll show you. This reminds me, I think it's just the seat. I have some originals. I keep getting ahead of myself. I went to a show in 2003 to see Fleetwood Mac at the dress rehearsal. And I encountered somebody who was a really big fan of Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, who again says that they used to work with her at Worthington. And I received some photos from them that were of Stevie from 1989. She's sitting on this couch, or couch similar, but I'm sure it's the same one, with a glass of wine, wearing the red dress that she wears on the cover of it. And I think that they might have sent me these also, all of these, but they were just copies. The other side of the mirror ones were originals, which was really cool. And then there's also some ones that they sent me, but they were like negative proofs or something like that. And she's wearing the cape that she's wearing on the Time Space cover, and Time Space tour book cover, I think, or the back cover. And those, but they were like really green. They were like really saturated, like in weird colors. And these, I noticed that sometimes the photos are very saturated. And I don't know if that's a legit thing, like they mean to do that, the lighting and such, or a development thing, or, because so many just come out crystal clear like that. Now this looks like one of the Polaroids, and it could well have been one of the Polaroids from that Polaroid episode that I showed. Not this one, but I think this one may be something that was a part of that. But the person that I met at the dress rehearsal and the person who sold all those Polaroids are not the same people. Then we have some really cool little press kit photos. This one is an outtake of, well, I showed you on the big picture, but you see that kind of goes together. But I had the card, the Herbert Worthington card. Then this was really neat. This was a different Showtime. Singer-songwriter Stevie Nicks stars in a 1-hour Showtime music special, Rock a Little, which premieres Saturday, January 16th. Mick Fleetwood and Peter Frampton are special guests in the show that was shot at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. Clearly, this came out later because they're using a Tango of the Night photo by Aaron Rapport, I think. Doesn't say on there, but yeah. Again, some copies of stuff that were given to me. I kind of want to ditch these and get real, be nice to get real copies. Again, the saturation, I'm not sure if that was done on purpose for, but compared to these. I mean, when you look up close at it, this is like shadow. It's not so much light, it's like shadow. But in the camera, it looks really goofy. Look at how that blue shines here. The paper was pretty cool, huh? But oof, it gives that blue effect. I really like this one. Then in that same category, we have yet another. I think I have a couple of these in there because you'll see them a couple times. This is one of the postcards from Herbert for the Rock a Little Time. I think these were sold on tour. Then just multiple kind of, this is an old page. You can see I cut out part of a Talk to Me 45 cover. And this photo that's here. Now I know that this is a photograph, but I think that this is one straight out of the book, out of the booklet for Enchanted. As we all know, and we've discussed, several people have talked about it, that Enchanted tour book did not stay in the box set at all. Or not tour book, but the booklet came with it. It was awful. That thing just popped right out. That thing, you looked at it funny and it would jump out. So I know a few of us had gotten a couple of them way back when they first came out, which was just stupid money, but basically just so that we could cut apart the booklet. And I know that this is a page from the booklet. But, you know, if there's great photos, and when there's great photos in there, you want to get copies. Like the 24 karat gold, that little fancy book that I showed you, I'd love to get another one, but I don't know that I have the heart to tear that one apart, even though it'd be, you know, so many great photos. This is a pretty decent article on Stevie performing with Peter Frampton. And I know it was from one of those, like, whatever town it was in, you know, whatever town, like the local magazine. They're a pretty good review. Some more cards, some more of the Herbert Worthington cards. Again, 86. I think that this one and the next one go hand in hand. Now, this one was used prominently for Other Side of the Mirror. She used this photo a lot. In fact, I think funny enough, I just found this picture, which is a really cool ad that I had never seen before, where they use that picture. But I think it goes with this one. I think it's shot at the same time. And it's so funny because you look at it and it's all just black. Like, it's so, like, you're like, you know, and then there's this little floating head. But seeing them in person, if you have them, you know. I mean, you can kind of see some of the light down here, and you know that she's kind of, you know, doing this kind of pose. But it is just kind of funny how it's almost too dark, but it gives that mystique, that great, you know. And same with this one. Like here, you really can't tell. It's just all dark. You can't really make out the rest of her. But there's, again, just such a mystique and such a silent movie star kind of photo. Both of these are, I think. Another one, if you'd seen in a prior video, I think I had shown with, Wild Heart, I think. This one had been, some people had a bunch of them. They were called the Escape from Berlin photos. And there's 4 or 5 of them or something like that. Just some of the most beautiful photos. This one, I think, those used in the first or second page of the Wild Heart tour book, or one very similar to it. But definitely a favorite photo as well. I don't think that these are the same, though. And it could be, but I don't think so. It's so funny. These came out in 86, right? I mean, obviously they had to. They can, you know, but because they're used for the 89 stuff, I just think of them as 89. I can't kind of unsee that. So I'll look at them and be like, oh, this totally looks like Belladonna Wild Heart to me or something. Oh, no, this totally looks Other Side of the Mirror. But clearly it's not. Clearly it's as early possibly as Wild Heart. But I think Rock Little. Mostly just the nails and stuff. But yeah, I just think that's funny. These, of course, from the 70s. So many of these photos. I don't think I could ever capture every one of these that has been released. There's so many variances. I mean, again, just a perfectly resplendent Stevie photo. It just captures. It's not the top hat. We don't see the long frilly stuff and the boots and the, you know, and the tambourine or something like that. But she's got the kind of fluffy beret with the feathers and the beads and yeah, it's just absolutely Stevie Nicks. It's just so, just completely her image, which I can see why she used it for, what was it? The Crystal Visions, right? Was that the cover? Crystal Visions? I think some pictures from this anyway. I'm kind of disappointed sometimes when she doesn't use more current pictures. Like, you can totally go nostalgia. I'm all about it with, you know, stuff, but like on some of the newer stuff, like even the tour merchandise and stuff, which has kind of been a a point brought up in websites where people discuss it, that let's have some new stuff. Like, even if they used anything from the SNL appearance, those pictures by Danny, I can't think of her name, but anyway, those, I think they're Danny Clinch, I think. Those pictures of her, anything, they're modern, they're current, even though they're already a year, 2 years old. They totally could have been put on merchandise. And I know that Stevie totally wants to sell the young, whimsical Fleetwood Mac, Rhiannon, Sarah, Gypsy image, but mixing it up would just be ideal. And I think it is pretty cool that, like, Enchanted, there was some current-ish pictures in there. I want to say something was like from around the dance when she was wearing that kind of red, with like lace at the bottom, but like material lace, not lace. There's a certain name for that kind of dress. But anyway, in that, and she had the baton as well. That was a somewhat current picture. But when she came out with Crystal Visions, it was just, again, and it was the greatest hit, so I get it. I mean, it's perfect, but it just would have been nice to have had just something updated of her a little bit. So that's just my rant. But she's freaking gorgeous now, so I want pictures of her. I know everybody knows that version of her. You know what I mean? We all know, but she's also who she is today. You can't undo that. So I also had a really big one of these. I don't think I took a picture of it because I just didn't have the time or the hassle, but it's quite a bit larger. It's square shaped like this, but it was an outtake of this, and by not much. And this, I think, is an outtake of the Rock a Little cover. When I had shown a couple of videos ago, even though it looks different because she's got that cape and the hair looks bigger and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, I think I got rid of that. And not got rid of like I wanted to, like it was a pain in my ass. Just had to sell it. But I had this one. And then this next one was one of the many pieces of art that I got in that large box. And I've mentioned that large box I got many, many times. And this one is really cool because, let's see if I can get it out here. I think I glued it down a little bit. Young, stupid me. Yeah, I think because it didn't really stay in there, so I just put a little tiny bit. But without taking it all the way off, it's really cool because you could see on the back here. So that was really cool. Private use only. And this one is No Spoken Word, is this piece here. Stevie's. And again, at some point, I'd really like to do a feature on her artwork. And I'll pull this back out and talk a little bit more about it, where I think it came from. And what I'd really like to do for that video, and I have some knowledge, but I'd really like to find the Solomith paintings that often they're inspired by. Because a lot of the times you'll see something to Stevie and you realize, oh my God, that's specifically another Solomith one. Not all of them, but many of them. And, she certainly doesn't copy. Stevie has her own artwork and her own style, and it's obviously influenced. But it is also funny to me that sometimes some just come across as so, if Solomith had done a brush stroke over here instead of over there, it could be mistaken for Stevie's. But a really awesome, awesome piece of work. No Spoken Word, and then Angel. I don't know if that says Elware or Beware. So we're going to close up with some more live shots here. This one is pretty nice of her. Fresh on the tour. My dog is being crazy. If you're hearing a little pitter patter, she's time for her to have the zoomies, I guess. Then this was an old page, a hodgepodge of stuff. This is the back. It's real thick. The back of this is the other one from Random Notes I was talking about. Where again, when I saw this, I just completely lost my mind. I must have 5 different copies of this over the years, because I'll still, like, if I'm at a store and I see a Rolling Stone issue that has this one in it, I'll probably pick it up just to have it again, which is so stupid. And I can't think of any outtakes of that. Then this one, I remember getting this one. This was out of Cream magazine or Circus maybe. And it had the lyrics underneath it to Violet and Blue. And I thought, oof, that is an interesting photo. I just, I still bought it, obviously. But there's a lot going on there with that outfit. And then this is similar to my Polaroid type looking ones, pictures that I have. So that is it for this episode, and we will see you next time. Like I said, I still got about at least two more, at minimum two more Rocket Little stuff, and then I just was working on some stuff from Tango in the Night, and I'm like, good Lord, I think that might have been 2 volumes as well, Tango in the Night, because there's just so much stuff, and I was really coming into my full collecting fanaticism around 1987. So it's everything I got then, plus everything I still pick up now. So that'll be fun coming up to that. But we still have some Rock a Little, some good stuff to go through. So we'll see you next time. I hope you have a great night. Bye.